Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. Today we head to Atlanta Motor Speedway, some mile-and-a-half racing. Very aggressive tire wear when it comes to Atlanta, so it's a pretty exciting one on the way, I would say. Fresh off of back-to-back no top 10s after having, top 10 cars at points in the races, but obviously not, when it mattered the most. So we are headed into this Atlanta weekend hoping to rebound and get a top 10 and not have more non-top 10s than top 10s after 5 races early on in the season. I'm not doing the Trucks or Xfinity race this weekend, but we will have the finishing results for both series, and as well next weekend I think we'll be doing the Xfinity race. Truck Series won't be there in Watkins Glen, while Xfinity and Cup are both in mid-Ohio. Rolling through, however, into some practice in Atlanta. What can we do in this weekend now? Like I said, the goal, really just simple, a top 10. I don't think we're going to have winning speed. Atlanta's never a track I've really had the best car at, capable of winning races in past versions of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode, but I was hopeful that we were going to have a good day, to say the least. Down into turn 1, passing the 41 there of Ryan Preece. We had Tony Stewart, of course, address the, issues with Stewart-Haas Racing in the last episode. If you saw that, make sure to watch that Phoenix episode there. As well, Ross Chastain picking up his first win of the season in dominant fashion, was untouchable all race long, basically led every lap aside from when some pit cycles were happening there. Our practice laps, they looked okay, and that would make me pretty confident going into the weekend overall. Qualifying, however, very difficult in Atlanta, so I wasn't expecting anything crazy for qualifying. I was thinking around probably 20th or so. We qualified P13 last time out in Phoenix, which was quite a nice surprise, but yeah, I wasn't really having a high expectation here when it comes to Atlanta. You're basically full throttle for a lap. You do have to lift just a tiny bit, but overall, that's practically full throttle. On the exit of turn 4, a goal of a 29.389. We're not going to match that, 0.4 of a second off, and it's going to be P21, so about where I expected. So yeah, we got some work to do, as I say every single episode at this point. Our teammates, 20th for Allmendinger, as well as 25th for Daniel Hemrick, so we're all kind of in the same vicinity of each other here. How about Burton at the bottom of the grid, and Carson Hocevar for Andretti Global down in 39th. That was a bit surprising to see him that far down the order, to say the least there now, as we see the top 10 rounded off by Ty Gibbs, Kyle Larson on pole, Byron Elliott, it's Hendrick 1, 2, 3 with Bowman down in P7. Truck Series action this weekend here. We'll take a look at who won the Truck Series. It was Stuart Friesen getting his second win of the season, holding off Truck Series rookie Frankie Muniz. As you see the rest of the order there. I forgot to change my Truck Series name and Xfinity Series name for this weekend, so just casually ignore that. On the Xfinity side of things, however, it was Justin Allgaier picking up the win. He's in the Cup race again. He's doing 3 back-to-back-to-back for that Andretti Global team for their final third car race for a little bit here. So now let's get ready to go to the grid Sunday in Atlanta for some Cup action.
The West Coast swing is over, and we arrive in Atlanta, Georgia for some 1.5-mile racing. Ross Chastain picked up a dominant win last week in Phoenix. Is he the one to watch this weekend?
I would say you have to watch him everywhere, Mike. He is one of the top drivers in the field, and I think this could be his year.
You have a point, Clint, but the obvious favorite right now is the 9 car. He's won 2 of the last 3 races, and last week he managed a second with a car that wasn't even a top 5 car in my eyes, and he nearly beat Ross right at the end.
There you have it. Watch for Chase Elliott in his home state today.
All right, bud. We've set the car a bit different to be better on the long run today, so just hang in there and it should come to you.
All right, 10-4. I think we need, that long run focus, so hopefully it works out, and I'll do what I can on the short run. You hear our messaging there to the team, and you see as well stories of the race. Carson Hocevar didn't have a good practice session, nor did he have a good qualifying effort. Daniel Hemrick looking fast in practice, didn't look great in qualifying. We'll see what he can do. And Larson on pole. Byron, another custom scheme there made by Cachinero on the outside now. I swear his schemes seem to get the luckiest in terms of what schemes show up the most now as we get ready to roll here from Atlanta. Right behind Daniel Suarez, it's a green flag is out, and we are underway here from Atlanta. The one and only time we come to this track. this season. Quite a lengthy race here now. We've got a lot of time to sort things out. Green flag pit stops, very, very possible here today as well with the tire wear and whatnot. Like I said, tires, kind of like Phoenix in the last episode, tires wear a lot here compared to other mile and a halves Atlanta does. So that's going to be something that we have to pay attention to, especially later in the race. Only 14 laps in stage 1. A similar vibe to Phoenix again with the stages. Stage 1 pretty short, stage 2 and 3 significantly longer than that opening stage. And we're already moving our way forward into P16 after P21 starting position up to P15, passing Suarez. Austin Dillon on the outside into turn 1, but here comes the 98 of Justin Allgaier, the Xfinity winner from this weekend. Shoved his nose in there. That was kind of my fault. I was kind of trying to chomp his nose, not on purpose. I didn't really think he was going to have that good of a run. He was able to pass us. He's already up to 14th place now, as we're to the outside now of this 3-car of Austin Dillon. Beautiful scheme that Lation made for him. That's his primary for the season. But we clear Austin Dillon on this middle lane on the exit of turn 2. Move up into P15 as Kyle Larson continues to lead early on. Byron not really maintaining up there. He's been dropping down the order very, very quickly, actually, to a point where I don't even think he's going to be in the top 10 after just 14 laps of running in stage 1. John Hunter Nemechek up here in P14. Allgaier, I got my eyes on that 98 Andretti Global car. He is absolutely flying. He is very, very strong when it comes to Atlanta, so I'm not really surprised, but at the same time, I am a bit to see the third and part-time Andretti car absolutely dominating the 2 full-time Andretti cars right now of LaJoy, the 500 winner, of course, and Carson Hocevar. I mean, no matter what, Andretti, you could already say, has had a successful season. They've already got a car in the playoffs. They won the Daytona 500 in their first ever attempt. What else more could you ask for in your debut season as a new team? So Andretti Global, I mean, there's already, some high praise for them. But we run down this group of cars late in this stage here. We got Christopher Bell, William Byron, last season's regular season champ. Bell, of course, they're in that number 20, but it has been a while since he's gone to Victory Lane. I think, Sonoma? It might have been Sonoma the last time he went to Victory Lane last season. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I feel like that was the last time we saw him actually pick up a win. Nonetheless, we passed both him and William Byron. Lap 10, 5 to go on the stage. And our crew chief told us, this car is going to come in over the long run. Unlike what has been in Las Vegas and Phoenix, it was the opposite. It was really good in the short run, really bad in the long run. So we're moving our way forwards here up towards the top 10, but the caution's going to fly. It was right on the bumper of the 17, so there's a concern there, but you can see up ahead that smoke pouring out of the 1 of Ross Chastain. Last week's winner, Chastain's going to be out of the race. That also takes him out of stage points and moves us into P10 as that caution does end the stage. Larson gets the stage win. Allgaier up to 5th place. He might win this race. There's a very real chance I think that happens. We're going to come to the pits, and we would do 4 tires, but we also add a 1 click up on the grill tape, and we'll see how that affects the car here now as we get ready to go green for stage 2. We gain 1 spot in the pit lane as well, so pretty happy about that. We get back underway. I think another driver to watch is actually, before that, you can see we get the glitch after being on the bumper of the 17 when the caution came out. It absolutely destroys our pace for the start of stage 2. We're not going to lose too much track position, but obviously we go from P9 to P17, and it's Keselowski. That's the car I was about to point out. Keselowski to the lead in that subway machine. He's looking pretty speedy early on here in Atlanta as well, so maybe potential contender to beat Kyle Larson today, I think, is going to be both the 6 car and maybe that 98 of Allgaier. Now, of course, Allgaier winning the race wouldn't change anything when it comes to the playoffs. That is just a part-time car, but I mean, that would be a huge day for Justin Allgaier to win a Cup Series race. 3 wide briefly there with Cindric and my teammate of Hemrick as we continue on the inside of this 31. They talked about Hemrick having speed in practice, but I'm not really seeing it. He's gone forward, but only into 19th place, and our other teammate of AJ Allmendinger has only gone backwards so far, so a bit of a rough start for colleague racing other than us getting that 1 stage point. That's been a common trend this season, is 1 stage point in stage 1, I feel like, but Kyle Larson, he would retake the lead. We have 25 laps of racing here in the stage, and now we start to encounter a bit of an issue. The temperature is starting to rise there. We put too much grill tape on during the caution, so now it's pretty self-policing. Our car is going to go slower when that icon comes up, but basically the way to avoid it is we just simply have to try and drive in clean air and not get the slipstream. Look at Hemrick go, by the way. He went past me, and then he passed like 6 cars He's absolutely flying all of a sudden. He has figured it out in stage 2, and he was already up towards the top 10 now by the time we come through to the end of lap 6. Keselowski back to the lead over Larson as he continues to try and maintain and control this race. Up the inside of Michael McDowell here, as we were going to be able to pass him into turn 1, go up the inside again of the 20 of Christopher Allen. Yeah, it seems to take about 7 or 8 laps, and this car really does start to kick in, so I was pretty happy with it. Larson now back to the lead. So if we get a short run at the end of this race, we're screwed. It's just not going to go well. We will drop down the order, but you can see nonetheless, the longer the run goes, the better it is. Now to the Hendrick duo of Byron and Bowman. Alex Bowman seems to have really good start to these races, but he can't seem to finish them out. And once again, we're kind of seeing that again today. He's now outside of the top 10. I'm going to slip to the outside. Not much of a gap between him and the wall. And I wouldn't clear him, so I would actually drop down to the inside here into turn 1, lap 11 of stage 2. And now we should be able to get the job done. Maybe not right here in turn 1 and 2, but for sure in turn 3 and 4, and that's exactly where it's going to happen here. We're about half a car length ahead of him, and sure enough, we would clear him as pit stop's already underway. Only halfway through stage 2, Hamlin's in, Allgaier's in, but there's a crash in the background. That's Austin Dillon in 3 and 4, who's gone around, and a huge hit on the door, on the driver's side door from Stenhouse there. That's not good, and another big hit there from the 21 of Eric Almirola. Austin Dillon's day is going to be over. That was 2 huge hits on the door. That's going to be something we have to pay attention to following this episode going into the next one. But we'll stay tuned on news from the 3 camp there. Everybody that pitted or was in the pit lane at the time of the caution just hit the jackpot because they could all stay out on track. But nonetheless, we get back underway. And it's 10 laps to go in stage 2. Everybody can make it to the end from here. Now, we got Hemrick on the outside. Larson's up there already trying to go 3 wide. He gets put back in traffic a little bit. You got up there the 17 of Chris Buescher. Carson Hocevar, I think that is, as well. Allgaier, then Keselowski, Elliott, Bubba Wallace, and his teammate of Tyler Reddick on my outside. Down into turn 3, Ryan Blaney leads the way in that number 12, looking for his first win early on in this season. Chase Elliott, he's been so strong lately. Now that we've, wrapped up the West Coast swing, we look back at his West Coast swing. His worst finish was second. Absolute dominance in the West Coast swing. Obviously, he stole the win from Truex at the end, who should have won that one in Auto Club. But Las Vegas, he dominated. Phoenix, he really didn't have second place speed, but at the end, he showed up and made it happen. To the inside now of Bubba Wallace and Elliott, 3 wide here with these two. Bubba Wallace having his best race of the season for sure. It's been a rough start to the season for Bubba. It's been quite a while, of course, since he's gone to victory lane now to the back of Kyle Larson. Actually trying to push my Alliance teammate down the front straightaway, get both of us past the 17 if possible. Caution out again late in stage 2, and immediately I see an opportunity. So what we're going to do, sacrifice stage points. We're going to sacrifice stage points and pit now. This will allow me to stay out on track following the stage and potentially be on the front row alongside the same driver that's beside me right now. That's Eric Jones, who appears to have the exact same idea that we do, or he maybe brought out the caution. I'm not quite sure which option it is. Eric Jones not showing a lot of speed this weekend. Had a top 10 run going in Phoenix. There was a lot of speed out of him there. But we get back rolling here down towards turn number 1. And what you're going to see here, I'm not even going to push in these final 3 laps. I am focused in on being up at the front for stage 3. So I am going to lift and coast each corner here to the end of the stage, and we're just going to save tires. The goal is to come out with about a 98-99% tire still remaining here. With the 2 laps to go, you can now see the gap starting to open up. Keselowski would actually take the lead from Kyle Larson on the final lap here in stage number 2, looking for his first stage win of the season, and sure enough, he would get exactly that, leading the way down the front straightaway. Larson holds off, Keselowski holds off Larson. Hemrick got up to 3rd, by the way, over Bubba Wallace. We get P38, but we saved the crazy amount out of our tires. We only wore them out by 1%. So, we're going to stay out. Eric Jones is going to stay out. Everybody else is going to come into the pit lane here. So we are going to be second place. I completely forgot about Jones at the time. So I don't necessarily want to be starting on the outside front row, but you know, front row is front row. We'll take it. So we'll get ready to go back green here for stage 3. Is this a gamble that is going to pay off? The way it pays off is, I would say, if we stay in the top 10, once things start to shift in our favor with the long run starting to kick in, basically. So let's see what happens as the green flag is back underway. Eric Jones, myself, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, the first 2 rows of cars. Hemrick in row 3. What can he do here in that 31? Showing more speed than he has all season long as we continue into this corner, immediately jumping down to that right rear quarter panel, pulling back on that 43, trying to use that side draft as we exit turn 2 down this back straightaway. Relatively even. We have the run. We got a push from Larson down this backstretch into towards now turn number 3. Still, however, dead even. The 43 edges ahead briefly, but we continue to hold him at his door. A little bit of contact maybe right there on the exit of turn 4 that shoots us up the track. Jones clear, leads the opening lap of stage 3, but we're clear of the 6 of Keselowski. So we jump down to the inside behind Jones, who's going to leave the door wide open for the taking. I say thank you very much. I'm going to insert myself into that space, but Kyle Larson jumps to the outside, 3 wide briefly for the lead. Jones backs out of it. Larson hauls the mail pass. Clear for the lead goes Kyle Larson in that 5, just showcasing the short run struggles that we have in this car. At the end of the day, I don't think we have enough speed no matter what the length of the run is for the 5 of Kyle Larson over the 6 of Keselowski. Reddick passes us, Hemrick passes us, and I just continue to get past. I mean, I was surprised by the lack of pace early on in the stage. Keselowski, however, was still stuck behind the 43 of Eric Jones, so he just basically had his whole opportunity of winning this race taken away. And now Ty Gibbs to my inside on the exit of turn 2. We continue to fight it out in our sophomore seasons. Now Elliott through on the inside, and will we hold on to the top 10? Like I said, that was kind of the goal here with the short run. Bubba Wallace is going to pass us, and we would stay put right here, P8. We would be able to stay in front of Ryan Blaney and now just try to settle in. And by the time we come to lap 48, 49, 50 area, things are starting to swing back in my favor to the inside of Ty Gibbs through turn 3. He's not going to make it too easy there. He's going to try and stay on our door, you know, keep us from being able to open up the corner, open up the wheel, I should say. And we would clear him, however, on lap 50 on the exit of 2. And now we have a big run down the back straightaway. We can focus in on that 23 of Bubba Wallace. I wouldn't be able to get to the inside, though, down towards turn 1 on lap 51 is when it finally happens. Actually, I gave the 23 a little bit of a push there and got him a bit sideways on the entrance of the corner, but right there on his door trying to pull him back, and we're going to get past this 23 potentially through 3 and 4, and now to the inside of my teammate of Daniel Hemrick, but he is going to be able to stay ahead briefly there. I couldn't quite complete the pass on him. Now out of turn 4 to side, actually we're going to give the 31 a bit of a shot at the bumper, trying to push him forward a bit there, but we actually unsettle him. He goes sideways. He's going to save it. Thank goodness. Not what I was intending to do, but you know what, we gain a position out of it, so we'll take it, I guess. But B5 now, as Larson just continues to dominate. I don't have anything for the 5. It's quite simple. I think we can pass the 45, the 98, and the 9, but that's as far as it's going to go. We do have to pit a few laps earlier than everybody else around us, so I was getting ready, 3 laps of fuel in the car. I decide, let's come into the pits right here. So we're going to slow down, get to this inside here, and get ready to come in, trying to not get in the way of the 31, but we completely missed the pit lane, so we've already thrown there, and then trying to get the car back going with the worn tires was an absolute disaster. I'm all over the circuit. I save it. I should have just wrecked it and brought out a caution on purpose at this point. That was the most embarrassing moment of the season right there. I missed the pit lane, but then every time I was hitting the gas, it was just trying to crash. We get into the pit lane safely next time, but yeah, that was quite frustrating. So we're going to come in. It's only going to be right side tires, so it's going to be a splash of fuel right sides. I think a top 10 is still feasible here. Obviously, we've thrown a top 5. It was looking like we were going to go for a 3rd or 4th today. That's probably not going to happen depending on how, you know, this whole cycle gets through. I was still ahead of Keselowski, so I was pretty happy with that at least. Out of turn 4, the 21 of Eric Almirola briefly takes the lead, so we're still a lap down as we head down towards turn 1. Look at the positions we're gaining, though. Passing Suarez. Here comes the 6 of Keselowski. He is absolutely flying. Passing Bowman, passing Nemechek, but the caution comes out. Not what we needed. That's going to trap us a lap down, but that is going to really throw a curveball, because look at this. Some drivers in the pits are going to be able to stay out, but leading, it's going to be Allgaier, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Busch, Allmendinger all up there in the mix suddenly. The top 2 drivers still have to pit, so the SHR duo, those guys up there, they have to come in, and we are going to be trapped a lap down. how the tables have turned here, because goodness gracious, we're down to P20, trapped a lap down, and we have 4 laps to go, sorry, in this race, and it's a part-time Andretti Global car leading the way. Justin Allgaier, can he pick up his first ever Cup Series win? We know he has speed. Got a feel for Kyle Larson, dominated this race, just got absolutely screwed over, kind of the Kyle Larson fashion. And you think about IRL 2023, I mean, he could have 10 wins this season if he didn't get screwed over, towards the end of those races, especially early on in the season when a lot of that happened. But yeah, I mean, really frustrating, because this is also going to mean 3 consecutive non-top 10 finishes here. Now we're probably going to take another drop in the standings. Things didn't quite work out towards the end how we had hoped. Now to the inside of the 10, and as well going to try to get to the inside of the 21 of Almirola. Allgaier leads over Bubba Wallace now, as we're going to go to the inside, 3 wide of all of these guys, and make up whatever positions we can. Hocevar right there, we're going to pass him. You got his teammate of Corey LaJoie on the far outside, but up front, 2 laps to go in Atlanta. Bubba Wallace is right to the back of Justin Allgaier within about 2 car lengths. What can he do in that 23? He would love to go to victory lane out of turn 4. It's going to be the final lap here, kicking off in Atlanta. We are absolutely flying, and it doesn't matter. It's not 4-track position, but the white flag is in the air. Bubba Wallace is going to get to the inside. He's to the inside of the Andretti car of Justin Allgaier through 1 and 2, and that 2311 Racing driver looking for his first win since Kansas in 2022. It's been a while. Down the back straightaway, Bubba Wallace through 3, still on the inside of Allgaier. He's going to get clear. Allgaier jumps in behind him. Bubba Wallace on the exit of turn 4 has had a good car today, but takes advantage of strategy late, and Bubba Wallace wins in Atlanta. He locks himself into the playoffs. The first win for Toyota in 2024. How about that? Bubba Wallace, get yourself in the playoffs. That is awesome to see there. P19 for us. Another rough ending and what could have been a decent day. Quite frustrating there, as you see Chastain with the DNF, Austin Dillon with the DNF, and potentially Dillon might miss a few races as well. As you can see, the rest of the standings that we're going to take a look at now. I forgot to show the trucks for whatever reason, but there's the Xfinity Series standings. I'm going to have custom numbers put in starting next episode, by the way, that Koop made, so I can't wait for you guys to see those. We dropped in the points standings, unfortunately 13th in the playoff grid right now. Not pretty, but we're going to a road course where we led last season in a 4-star caliber car. I have high hopes we could fight for our first win next episode. I'll see you guys then. Have a great day.